are playing. I don't understand what's going on. The agent found out. The staff was quick to say hello. Hello, welcome. Do you have any requirements? Too quick to shake hands. No, I didn't buy it. I feel embarrassed. The staff member promptly explained and saluted. Don't be shy. This is an item developed by Lord Ali. Your Majesty also supports by publishing it in the press as well. Talk about menstruation. It's a normal physiological phenomenon for women. No need to dodge. It's about keeping everyone safe. You should treat yourself well. That, I still don't want to buy, the little girl told me. I don't need it yet. I wonder if your Majesty even publicly supports SAO. The employee smiled and said, no problem. This is a guest handbook. There's a lot of knowledge about physiology inside. It's very useful. You must see it. Embarrassed, red face, brandished hands that refused. No, I really don't. For a while, it was not easy for the lights to refuse. Tulip is currently in. Take that book. She's kind of helpless. Finally, it's impossible to get over your stubbornness. Sales assistant, stop it and put it away first. Just hugged the book. I just watched the people go back and forth. On the street. You often think, I think the school only has food. Unexpected play in this respect as well. Because everyone has money. So life is richer. I'm starting to focus more on myself. I was thinking, my stomach screeched because of hunger. She's starting to get excited. I'm tired of going out to eat meat today. Very quickly went to the front of the butcher shop. The waiter's giving her the menu. Let her choose. These are all their cabinets. I would like to suggest you eat roasted honey ribs. It's very popular with girls. Happy to receive the menu. Thanks, let me take a look. Holding the list of dishes on the convoluted call. Your cupboards are not expensive. A plate of honey ribs has 4 pieces that only have 2-5 stars. I took part of the ribs, and there was bum meat, just mushrooms. The waiter stood beside the table and was happy. The hazy laughter. He gave the menu a call to another employee. I'm going to the kitchen tomorrow to get the order. I'm going to get a glass of water for the lady. He came close to Mai with a smile and told him, don't let her run away from a rich prey. Tomorrow's name also smiled in a quiet way. I'll definitely take care of her. An hour later, she enjoyed all the food she ordered. You're happy, thank you. Your cupboard is very delicious and served very well. Thank you, then generously pay for tomorrow. That's 100 baht, right? This is 150. You don't need to pay extra. Mai laughed and said again, you calculated wrong, dear. This meal totals 1.32. Why only 100 baht? The tulip paid the bill and looked dumbfounded. Obviously, the previous menu was not at this price. Why are you here now? The employee at this restaurant is standing in front of me. 5 threats to look at how you dress. It's not that there's no money. Paying for food is, of course. Pay quickly. Angry and angry, these 3 men in the sky. You're rubbing SAO. You're not afraid of the SAO. The first guy who talked to me. White paper, black ink, is the bill you called. You want to eat shit. Don't leave if you don't pay. Tulip is a little afraid, she helplessly thought. If he does come, can I leave here or not? Not sure either, but I have to submit to SAO. Calm down and think about how. You can't mess up too much. This is a crowded area. Even if the private guard doesn't have anyone nearby, the inhabitants of the city cannot be left alone. Does not help to think of a strong feedback loop. I only pay the same price for you. Don't dream of $1,000. I advise you to turn your head. Management of the city security strict. If your majesty knew this, I will not forgive you lightly. Tomorrow's ready to go. He raised his hand and threatened her. Invited wine not to drink. I want to drink alcohol and scream. It's a busy area outside. You dare to move. There is no God in your eyes. The owner laughed sarcastically and said, My glasses are special. No matter how loud you scream, no one can hear you outside. There is no one to help you. Here we are the French. While the water is boiling, there's a slash coming back. The hair on Mai's head was cut off and flown out. Tulip also realized there was something. Is to save the wind. I almost interrogated the owner of the bar. You are the king. When I saw the wind, I was delighted. The three here are trembling with fear, your majesty. Save the wind firmly. You don't want to take the method back. I want to see how good he is. The private security team is under orders. All of you are following orders. See that majestic appearance. I'm feeling the sun in my heart. Young master is so handsome, but then you wonder. But young master Sao appeared here. Move the scene to the office in Chang'an City. Ellie is seriously presenting the work to the exile. You tell me. After developing into capital available, crop-growing areas were also merged into. Many residents complain about the problem. Noise and pollution. The Department of Agriculture. I want to move to the land outside the city. When you are finished, agree. Just do what they want. The report eventually came to the final document. Ellie is excited to say. Only the last document remains. When we're done, can we go find lunch? Sao Feng replied with a sigh. I don't even know where she's been. You can eat together, silly Ellie. Ellie picked up the document and continued. So let's take a look at the documents, and the police department will put them up. The police said. Recently, management of the commercial neighborhood is somewhat chaotic. There's a part of the business that's overpriced. Beyond our price regulation. Ellie was extremely angry and scolded these merchants. They're trying to make money. This is not about destroying Han's honor. Sao dynasty, calm down and ask Ellie. Did the stall arbitrarily raise prices? Investigate Ra. Ellie handed over the document and replied. I investigated Ra. There are 6 violations in total. They're mostly in the old city. Look at the information in the document. Save the Wind solemnly replied, if I remember correctly. These shops are all. When you first became the owner of the Atlantic City, just started to develop the business, were the first booths that Follow Me opened. Ellie is sad, right? At first, I thought it was the new owners. Don't understand. I can't believe they're all old people. But the most outrageous young master is this booth. They hired a bunch of muscle people. Take advantage of the appearance of workers. That intimidates customers, forced to pay. Said Ellie and pointed to the store information. Let the Wind know. No more waiting. They quickly left to deal with these problems. If you rush like that, it's like stealing. Call the police department. Let's go see how unruly they end up being. And then there's the scene that we encountered. When eating at the barbecue shop. When the cones are screaming, I swear to the Kier Bear. Ellie found out about her in time. Ellie was nervous and said it out loud. The missing person is convoluted. They are animals. Dare to mess with girls. Give an order. Get out the back door and avoid them. inside the scene as if it had happened before. When the innkeeper laughed and laughed, no matter how loud you scream, no one will notice. At the right time, he drew the sword on the man. The hornet was cut off and half his hair was lost. When you walk out and ask the leader, "Is he the king of France?" all three of them panicked. The leader flipped his face faster than a waffle. He threatened to kill Ra Sao. And now he's laughing and greeting me. "Your Majesty, the Sao is here. We're dealing with a dining customer. Refused to pay. You know that. Our small shop is not easy to do business with. If you can't get food, you lose money. Really serious, Sao." The name is still stuck, of course. How dare I deceive you? I can't hear any more. You threw the whistleblower right in his face. He even dared to make excuses. We have investigated it thoroughly. TF, do you have anything to say? The owner of the restaurant was shocked by his information. The face is wrinkled and the aesthetic is gone. The police department has thoroughly investigated our situation. Now you can only get it wrong. I don't believe, based on our support for your Majesty. There is also suffering without work. I'm sure you'll take it easy. Three-headed men plead guilty, your Majesty. I know I'm wrong. I get the benefit of making Blur go the wrong way. I am willing to return the money stolen from the guests. Please forgive us this time. The two hornets in the back also kowtowed. I'm wrong. We're just employees. We are obliged, your Majesty. The side of the twists. Ellie and the Emperor were also very interested in asking Han convoluted. Are you okay? I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Don't worry too much. The Empire is stronger. You want to save this man, your Majesty. These people are not forgiven. I see the Emperor so determined. The owner of the bar begged his Majesty. We are the ones who went with you. Since you were the owner, God has always been in business. I made a mistake this time. But it's not about doing anything. Murder, arson can't be tolerated. Please forgive me, Lord, this time. Sei Feng just laughed in response to his words. That's right. Your booth is the first of my own. When new business development. The owner of the bar was delighted to hear this. Your Majesty, you still remember. Please let us go, don't worry. We will refund the money to the guests. The people around me started talking. Your Majesty is very serious. But this is not managed. There is no more French. The owner of this restaurant has been lying for a long time. They also cheated on my money. Your Majesty has meaning. You can't ignore him. Please don't do it right. Your Majesty makes his own decisions. The owner did not punish him. He liked it. Respond to the people's talk about him. Your Majesty has decided. What are you discussing? Do you want to resist His Majesty's will? People are very upset with this guy. They despised him. He's a willing murderer. Maybe you don't run SAO. If you don't, I will. Wait until some time for a fight. Tulip is also feeling a bit seven hope of exile. You are sad in your heart. The young man appeared as a god. I keep thinking, now he's going to let it go or something. Ellie comforted, there must be another intention. Because it's not just this booth that's having problems. At this point, I can understand what it is. And on the bottom, you're very excited. If the soup counts for my part. The owner of the restaurant laughed happily. Thank you for saving the wind. Your Majesty is watching. If the matter has been resolved. It's also lunchtime. You haven't eaten rice, have you? Would you like to eat at our restaurant? Liu Fengshui replied, "When did I say it was done?" "At this time, order. Catch all these people for me." I kept him in the house for a month, and then. This decision keeps the owner in place. "Very quickly, Your Majesty, let me go." The owner of the bar doesn't understand. He asked loudly, "Your Majesty, you didn't say this before." The wind again loudly confirmed. "I said you guys, it was one of the first booths. When we first developed. You are not wrong, but you think your work is high. You can do whatever you want. Then I will tell you now. Justice is a crime that cannot be compensated for. Before the law, everyone is equal." The owner insisted to the end. "Your Majesty, I know I'm wrong. Give orders to the police department." The police department caught all the criminals. No matter the owner or the employee, according to the position that penalized, must be severely punished. All shopkeepers out a month. The staff is taken to the labor to repair the road. And then he spoke softly to the people. "And those who have been deceived claim their love. The safety will be according to the situation to compensate more." The people praised you with great joy. "I know you're not a soldier. Your Majesty is just." Then the emperor boldly told the exile, "I led you before the other rooms. I'll arrange for a handler immediately. Please also gently respond to me. Remember not to let anyone out. I'm excited to say, don't worry." The owner of the bar was dragged away by the emperor's still old mouth. "Please forgive, Emperor Ti. Please let me go and pray to you." He just coldly yelled at him and shut up. The owner of the bar left. Ellie contemplated follow the back of the wind, but confided lightly with convoluted. "These stalls, they've been following the young master since the beginning. Now they're just messing around. The young master's mood is definitely not good. Afraid of not being in the mood to eat." Remix also answered, "Ellie, I can understand your mood. It's not as if we eat with the young master. Maybe you can eat a little." Said that, Ellie approached the exile. "It's fun to tell you. You guys are so hungry by this time. Let's go to lunch together." Tulip also added the right words, "Your Majesty. I eat Chanel too. Let's eat with us." As if the wind had refused to let you go. "We need to go to the newsroom. We'll take care of it for lunch." To speak very seriously, very seriously. This time it was very typical. "Some old people have followed me from the beginning. I think I have a high score. Gradually relax your own requirements." SA fell down on the side of the opposition to the people. "This time we have to make a public statement. This is why we strictly punish this phenomenon. Let's see who dares to do it later." I saw Fong say that. Ellie turned around and said, "I thought you'd at least be bored. Hard to get up for a while." Convoluted also replied, "The young master's morality is very profound. The school is now. New special issue coming out. The record of the injured arrested. It's a distortion of character, or it's a moral annihilation. Welcome to the press. We're looking at the psychological process, as well as uncovering the secrets of evil, from the light into the darkness." Then, His Majesty Cho also issued a completely new management order. "Okay, Mom. I've been there before, and I've been cheated. The scammed person can get the appropriate compensation. Go to the police station to get the money." The boss urged some workmen that it was about to open. "Glass doors on Kier also need to be cleaned. Can you hurry up?" The workmen tinkered with him. "The owner is too tall. It's very dangerous. It's a terrible fall." The boss heard that and explained. "Just reach the civilized trade union. I'll raise your salary." "I see that," the guys who curled their ass replied. I'm going to get the ladder. The boss grumbled again. I can't see the rabbit. Why am I unlucky? You might run into two things. The two men then walked through the store, curiously asking the boss. So early today. Your friend reminded you that you were crazy. The boss's temperament here is notoriously bad. Just look at him frowning. Still greeting to be scolded. The boss, and on the contrary, kindly answered them, Ra. You're here. Good afternoon, the shop is about to open. You can come and have a look. As I said, he ordered you to entertain. I went to see if little Johnny had a ladder. I haven't known where to hide for so long. The worker nodded in obedience. Those two objective people saw the boss's attitude. It turns 360 degrees, and it's amazing. Did your boss take the wrong medicine? Or get hit in the head by something? Wow. Normally when we go to the store, he is very aggressive. Today is such a beautiful face. The cat is dead, and the man explains Your Majesty has recently set up a civilized rescue. Not just big prizes. It's also free to advertise. Increase the exposure. Now, the whole city is safe. Every household is competing for this prize. The boss is no exception. So super good attitude. Haha. Those two objective people understood that's what Rao turned out to be. Other shops serve it a lot better. Your Majesty is very good. Just a small prize. You can also call the whole city. More positive. Ellie reports to the exiled young master the good news. Since proposing a series of methods, adjust the booths. On the whole, the market order is much better. It was so good to be satisfied. Meanwhile, Bin Lead greeted Master Ellie from the door. Good afternoon. I brought you to food. Take a break. Ellie was surprised why it was you. There's good food. Bin Lead replied with a smile that Ningen had just studied. It's a new kind of breakfast. She's got to go see the African helpers off. So ask me to bring it. Ellie Don replied, Oh, I understand. I understand. No need to explain. Bin Lead as Ellie guessed the total secret intentions. Her face is flushed Lyco. Ellie saw that. Blink your eyes for calm. I know he understands you. Haha, I will try something new for breakfast later. I'm tired of going out for a bit. I saw Ellie's strange appearance thinking. Ellie, why are you so tired all day? Ellie was silent for a moment. You seem to want to say something to me. Then show her the sign. Ellie quietly told me to try. Do whatever you want to do. It will take a long time for me to operate. Confused. Don't mess around here. What can I do? Go ahead and tell the young man. This is a new breakfast. Try it. She said she must ask the young master's opinion. Keep your head up, let me see. Take a piece and smell it. It smells a little familiar. I looked forward to chewing the first piece. I am extremely waiting. You are eager to ask, how young is it? This is a Bellic hazelnut surprise. So you can definitely guess. It's like that? She explained more. Ningam used to have hunters and farmers around. Find help for plants. Some of the plants are thanks to you. Anything like that can be brought here to find me. I will avenge Lao. The farmers replied. The enemy, something is not possible. Because it's our honor to serve you. A man came to say, Lord. Look at this and this too. I think it's very similar to the picture of paint. All around you smile back brightly. After seeing it, she was very pleased. It's very similar. Let's try it. The other replied. This was picked up by our boy. It's baked. Very fragrant hazelnut seed in the book. Later. It's true that they went to nuts like hazelnuts. It tastes so much better than before. Especially the taste. The cousins sat down and talked to each other. Nico uses it for breakfast. We all found it delicious, but Nico couldn't say for sure. So asked me to bring it to the young master to try. Convenient. Do you think this is very hazelnut-like? Ningam feel can be cultivated. To get that thing. If you observe, you will also recognize it looks very much like fruit meat, and it's relatively small. He put it in his mouth and tasted its taste. I'm quite surprised. Well, the taste and smell are very similar. Maybe a strain of hazelnuts. Speaking of which, it's about to fall. In my homeland, hazelnuts are ripe in autumn. There was last time. After the storm hurriedly planted some kinds. It's time to harvest. I heard it said. This hazelnut seed is near the farm. Or we can go to the farm and see the harvest. Take a look at this tree. On the outskirts of Chang'an. Now, the farmers are talking. Digging and draining. We can start harvesting in a few days. Looks like a good harvest this year. Convoluted admiration. Beautiful. It's the first time I've seen something like this. Save the Wind nods very beautiful. How hard farmers work. It's finally been answered. Asked an exiled farmer. How is the situation this year? Is it better than every year? The farmer was surprised, Your Majesty, the SAO is here. This year, the barley is very good. The output is definitely very high. It's a bumper crop. Don't stress. Don't stress. I just want to find out a little bit about the situation. Other types are sow. The farmer held out a corn and said, corn is not bad. There was a large amount of young corn. Supply to the market. The rest is intended for drying and seeding. And to provide food in the winter. I'm sorry, this place is a bit old. The farmer presented more. In the open land, Kier is growing vegetables. It has been harvested. Master Silai plans to build a conservation house there. Those wooden poles are for conservation. The old man replied with satisfaction. Thank you. We'll see for ourselves. Keep busy, the farmer bowed. You don't have to thank me. I can introduce you. This is my third life. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. They both turned around when the farmer called. Your Majesty, please wait. He said I've heard farmers talk lately. The mountain is not safe. I don't know what it is. Your Majesty, don't go over there. Back with a smile. It's not safe. How many people do you have working here? Maybe there's something. In the heart of thought. If it's not safe, go over there. How many farmers are there every day? If you are a little careless, there is a big problem. To escape with Belix at the foot of the mountain. I'm looking around. I don't understand what makes it unsafe to be here. Belix picked up what he called master. It seems to be the seed. Ask the young man. People who are worried, what the farmer said earlier. Right, not save the nod. Next, this is the harvest and the winter. We need to ensure the safety of work. The farmer's production. It's our responsibility. Convoluted voice. That's right, people in my tribe used to say. When the fields are filled to harvest, there's usually a bunch of black monsters. Big sharp teeth unite down the mountain. Attack the fields and people in. Did the old man Kier say it was about this? Save win surprise. Black guy with big sharp teeth sounds like a wild boar. Mature wild boar. They are human, but also animals. There's something in front of you. I found out it was moving. You are very careful. See, the shape is wild boar, must be up to 100 kilograms or more. Take out the taper, save the wind sign. Let's go back and see how. Convoluted worry. Young master, is there any problem with going alone? Let me call someone. Save the eagerly, calm down and rest assured. I'm not the kind of emperor with weak hands and soft feet. They just know how to play. At the outer court of Trongen at this time. To the wind alone. In the heart of consideration, your body quality is much improved. It's like dealing with a bunch of wild boars. See, also fainted. So it's definitely a weak spot. After a close look, the wind's pushing hard, smashing down. Suddenly, a girl poked her face out and asked him, "You're here." That sleigh. She stood in terror and screamed. I'm lucky to be in time. Time to stop. When I heard the sound, I ran to see it. You can't help but be surprised there. I can't believe Shay knew that. It is better to identify it early. The young man didn't hurt Silay. Save the wind and help the wind. I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to. Silay all soul respond no sao no sao. Fortunately, the crew was in time. Let me go back a little bit. Worried to say. Maybe we should go to the hospital and check it out. I think it would be better to let the doctor see Cho. Siley told you not to worry. I really don't know. Right. Why are you here, young master? It's been a long story for a long time. 3 people sat down to talk. He told me and went to the farm. Just in time to hear the farmer. Maybe a forest monster has appeared recently. After coming here, you can see that there's something moving under the thin film. Lotus is very similar to wild boar. I want to hurt people. He laughed and said that it was because of my carelessness. I almost hurt you. I'm sorry. He replied eagerly. It turns out that's it. Don't blame yourself. Your worries are not bad. She said more. Before I came here to erect columns, the farmer in charge of the night watch also told me to investigate. They're on night patrol. I also saw the shadow of a forest monster. But I've also heard that the closer we get to harvesting the crops, the forest monsters appear more and more times. By the way, have you seen many of these footprints? It's probably because there's a lot of seeds here. If you two come in the evening, maybe you can meet them. It's amazing how big the footprints are. How big is this monster? Liu Feng said, we'll call the police department and deal with it quickly, when the matter is not resolved. She reminded the farmer's department, don't come near this area at night. Silay replied, go back first. These toilets are still a little more than finished. I'm a little busy. Sei Feng shakes his head. You can't be alone. It's dangerous here. We work with you. Finish your work early. To help Chili close the boxes. I wonder about these prices. Are you guys preparing for the blast room in the winter? Siley said yes. I know after the newspaper. We're worried. Food shortage in a short time. Except for planting new trees in the field. And renovate the existing protection room. Set up planting area on high. With the way the top and bottom steps are spaced apart. This way, we can fully explore the existing space. To grow more crops. You're working with me today. But I don't know what's holding me back. I haven't seen it yet. Excited to say, not bad. There's this aerial plant. Winter vegetable supply. Don't worry anymore. It's really bad for you to give a compliment. Siley scratched her head in response. This is the Department of Agriculture. We came up with this. It's not my own merit. That's right, young master. We're going to introduce it nationwide. This growing method. But I'm worried that by then, the output is too high. The consumer market is not over like that to do SAO. Liu Feng laughed loudly. Haha, in the water is not consumed. Just sell it abroad. Low temperature winter is beneficial for the preservation of vegetables. And some more preservation methods. Surely it doesn't matter what else doesn't dare say. We're about to set up a flight to the Sahara. There are no vegetables in winter. Certainly in high demand. Convoluted pleasure. Later, we can take the spaceship to Ra. Siley said I haven't been to the prairie yet. I really want to go see it. To the Sahara territory. Elsa is having a party right now. The laughing voice said, let's drink, your majesty is generous. This celebration was made with the wine of the Han dynasty. This time winning the battle. He rewarded many young people. You should also marry. My wife wants to marry me too, but she doesn't. Elsa looked at this scene and sighed. It's easy for people to be satisfied. Female subordinates came forward and said, Majesty plays together, that this time in a row took many tribes. You should be happy. Elsa, speak up. My wife was wondering when the party started. People are still normal. Suddenly, it's like this. The squirrel tribe is here now. Elsa replied, of course not. She whispered her ear. Otherwise, you will remember the power of the wind. I've heard. This time he was going to do it himself. Minerals and prisoners to the Han dynasty. How can I not be sad? Elsa replied that I was the one who was afraid of losing Sao. Now is the time for a military emergency. Of course, we're in the Sahara. Elsa took out a letter saying, I got a letter from Bella. She's about to unify the riot zone. Elsa looked up at the sky sobbing. I thought I was doing good enough. Now I realize that I'm actually very slow. Countless multipliers because of the monster distribution map endlessly rushing forward, without regard to sacrifice. Now the responsibility is on my shoulders. We can actually unify the Sahara. Recreate the rotational distribution map, the former glory of the monster kingdom. Female subordinates encouraged. We can now eat well and get warm. They have their own territory. Compared to before, wandering around all day is better. Bella just needs to move fast. You don't have to lower yourself like that. We felt someone would do it. Waist Sao head, P head. I'm just feeling a little. It's not your turn to comfort me, he said. I'm just worried. People think too much. Someone else came to talk to Elsa. His Majesty the King. Asked me to replace you to negotiate with someone about something. Elsa is curious about this news. I ordered him not to need gas. Please sit down and talk. This name presents. It's actually something to do with the Starship Airport. Your Majesty has spoken. If your Majesty does not agree with Sahara, then Han can help you build a Starship Airport. To travel between the Sahara and Han dynasties. It's much easier, of course, than testing equipment. Construction fee, architecture, and labor by the Han dynasty. After completion, we just need the right to do business for 5 years. Airports remain under the laws of the Sahara. To run the business. It will be returned to you after 5 years. Who saw Sao? Elsa nodded in agreement. What do you want to ask for later? Just come find me. The messenger bowed respectfully. Thank you for your Majesty's trust. I'm definitely not welcome. I'll get the contract, take a look, and confirm. The messenger said and got up and left. The woman looked excitedly at him. Ai Ra, I was ready to think that the exile you like people. See, I think I'm wrong. Female subordinates hurriedly build a yard. How much does a private spaceship cost? Your Majesty only needs the right to do business.